Okay, not yet take break. We still have 20 minutes. Okay, so now I want to introduce the control structure. Control structure. What is control structure? Actually, each program has their control flow. Okay, you can decide which part code you want to make it run first. Okay, but sometimes we needed to depend on the condition. Okay, so you needed to present your own conditional statement. So I think at the beginning I want to make you to think something about decision making statement. What is your decision making statement? For example, I think maybe you will depend on the weather to decide today which breakfast store you want to buy. Okay, maybe today is a rainy day, or I just back to school. I just go to school first, and I just find out the neighborhood, and is there some breakfast store is near to our school. I just buy my breakfast. Okay, this is easy. But if today this is a sunny day, maybe I can go to anywhere to buy my breakfast. Okay, so I think this is decision making. Your decision making is depends on the weather, depends on your weather. So the weather is your conditional statement. Okay, so I think in our life there has so many things can help us to make a decision. Okay, but everyone's your decision making approach is totally different. Okay, for example, you can see that is a R value. What is a R value? When we encounter the COVID-19 and we needed to use the R value to provide our government to decide we needed to seize our control measure or not. Okay, R value is the latest reproduction numbers and the growth rate of coronavirus. Okay, when the R value is higher than 1, the virus is spreading in an expanding trend. Okay, so if R value is bigger than 1, so the disease is spreading in an expanding trend. Okay, so maybe so many people you will get positive with COVID-19. Okay, but if today the R value is lower than 1, that means that is safe. Okay, we don't need to worry it. So if today the governments can gain the R value, so they can decide today they needed to take a control measure or not. If R value is bigger than 1, we needed to take control measure. If the R value is smaller than 1, and there is no need to take control measure. Okay, so we can base on R value. R value is our conditional statement. Okay, this is a conditional statement. And later, that is our process control. So only R value is bigger than 1, we can run this control. We will run this process. And we will not run this process. But if today the R value is lower than 1, we will only run this process. We will only run this process. We will not go this way. We will not go this way. So this depends on our conditional statement. Okay, so this is our decision-making process. Okay, so now maybe I will ask you a question. Is the computer screen on? Okay, because I find out that my computer screen is not very well now. So I will ask you a question. Yeah, I needed to detect the problem of my computer screen. Okay, so at the beginning, I want to ask you the first question is the computer screen on? Okay, maybe I want to check the first thing is the screen turned on? Maybe some people just turn off, not turn the screen on. So we needed to ask the first question, is the screen turned on? So if not, please turn on the power. If you turn on the power, and we will make sure the computer screen will on. Okay, so if you already turn the screen on, but there's still not work, so I want to ask you the other question is it a VGA cable issue? Okay, maybe just VGA is disconnect. Okay. And if not a VGA cable, if that is a VGA cable, maybe just replace the VGA cable. Or today you already replace another VGA cable but still not work. Your screen is still not work. So maybe you needed to send the screen for repair. Okay, so that is a series of our decision making process. Okay, and you needed to set a lot of conditional statement. Okay, and you needed to depend on your conditional statement to decide what's your action. So in our Python, it's also the same thing. We will use a if and else to help you to decide which action you wanna take. So if you wanna, you can use if, elif, and else. You can use these three things to represent one thing. So we can use the if statement to run a block code only when a certain condition is met. Okay. So for example, I can assign in the grade ABC based on the marks obtained by a student. Okay. Maybe if the percentage is above 90, and I will assign a grade with A. If it's above 80, and I will assign with B. If above 70, and I will assign the grade C. Okay, so we will see we can use the if statement to represent it. Okay, you can choose these three ways. Okay, if only condition you want to evaluate, you can use if statement. If there has two action you want to decide which one you needed to take, which action you needed to take, and you can use if and else. But if today there is more than two, maybe there has three actions you needed to take, you will use if, elif, and else. But if today is more than three, and then you will become the if as the beginning, else as in the end, and you can use so many elif. You can use so many elif. Okay, so you need to remember one thing: your if and else only one. You only have one if and one else, but you can have a lot of elif. You can use a lot of elif. So that is our if else. Okay, so I want to show you. We can go to our control structure. First thing, the score is 80. Okay, and if score is bigger than 60, and we will tell the student, oh, you pass. Okay, so that is pass. And if today's score is 50, and I will tell you, if score is bigger than 60, and I will tell you that's pass. If not, that is go else. That will print fail. So you can see here, there is two action, right? There is two action. If the score is bigger than 60, I will take the first action. If score is lower than 60, I will take the other action. Okay. So that is if else. That is if else. Maybe you can try to type it, if and else. You can try to type if and else. And now maybe you can interact with the user. Okay, you can set up a machine to ask your user. Okay, that's it. We will try to determine the content entered by the user. So how to make your user to answer the question? You can use input. Okay, input. I set out an input in here, and here is a string I wanna ask the user. Please enter your score. So if today user answer me any answer, I will put the answer in the score container. Okay, if maybe I give you an 80, the score will become 80. The user give you the 60, the score will become the 60. Okay, and I will depend on the result. the score entered by the user, and to give you some feedback. Okay, so you need to use the input. So I can use a shift enter, and you will see, please enter your score. Okay, my score maybe is 90, and enter it. Wow, what's wrong? Not support between instance of string and integer. What's the meaning? What's the meaning? That's because our conditional statement is want to evaluate, determine that is bigger than 60 or smaller than 60. We want to make sure these things. But actually, your score is a string. Your score is a string, not a number. So I can't understand this is bigger or not. Even today you give 60, you give a 90, that is a number. But for computer, they don't know, they just assign them as a string. Okay, so we needed to translate it. How to translate it? Okay, we needed to convert it. We needed to print the input in our integer. Okay, that will help us convert the data type of the input. I say all the things entered by the user will become an integer. Okay, so I will put in here, and I assign them into the score. I can run it again. 90, pass. Okay, so I can show you these things. If I use this way, and I use type S, and you can see 90, that is string. Okay, even I give a number, this is also a string. But if today I say this, what's the type? What's the type? Become the integer. Okay, because I already convert the data type to an integer approach. Okay, so I can depend on this S1 to evaluate that is bigger than 90, 60 or not. Oh, this is not this one. Because I learned so many code, I don't, sometimes it will confuse with the way. Okay, so I will say that is pass. So I can run it again. 90, pass. Okay. So that is just the need. We needed to use the integer to convert the data type before we evaluate that is bigger than 60 or not. Okay, because in this conditional statement, and we needed to make sure all the thing is a number, is an integer, is a floating point numbers. Okay, and we can evaluate. Okay. And actually, we still have some things, but I think if we discuss with all these things, and that will delay your time. So maybe today we just stop in here. And do you have any question? Do you have any question? And if you have any question, and please stay in here, and I will answer you. And if you don't have any question, and please just enjoy your lunch time. See you next week. Bye bye.